Hey guys, I am back. I know it's been a minute and I am sorry. Once again, I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, I say I'm sorry all the time just because I hadn't been present. A lot has gone on and we're still not pregnant. So let me talk about the embryos that we tested. We had um, 8 embryos unthawed, tested, frozen again, and then transfer. We have done both transfers and neither one was successful with normal embryos. I did mention before that the ones that we tested were like not the best grade because we had already transferred like the top quality embryos already. Sorry, y'all. We had transferred the top quality embryos already. So these were like middle to low grade embryos already. And unthawing them, and I think they were day 6. I know all of the normal ones were day 6 embryos. So, excuse me. Unthawing them, tested them, and biopsying them did make them weaker. So now going through the process, I'm thinking like, okay, good. We're going to unthaw these embryos, test them. They're going to be normal. Normal doesn't always mean best. And I was just getting so caught up on normal embryos. I thought it was going to be the same effect as the abnormal ones that we tested. So once I was explained that and got over that, I was just like, okay, because the first time when we unthawed and tested whatever, we got ready for a transfer. We just done a regular transfer, and we transferred 2 normal embryos, and it didn't work. We didn't get pregnant at all. And if you guys been rocking with me since day 1, you know I get pregnant every time. And I take the test 4 days past transfer. Actually, 4 days past transfer, I got a very, very faint positive. I probably deleted the picture already because I was so mad. If I didn't and I have it in my recently deleted or hidden, then I'll insert it. But I got a very faint positive. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then the next day it faded away. And I had that test. I think I had sent my husband to get, because I didn't have any more first response tested. So I sent my husband to the store on his way home from work to get some more tests. I'm like, get some more tests. He came back with these cheap tests. They were not first response. So I was like, these some cheap tests, let me go get the test, the good test, the first response, and then take it negative. And I'm like, what is going on? And so like 7 days past transfer, I was just to the point to where like this didn't work. And we only had 3 normal embryos out of 8. So I was just like, okay, well, we only had 1 more. I don't like transferring 1 because it gives you less of a chance, but that's all we had. And we had the 5 abnormal embryos that we did not want to test. So, not that we didn't want to test, but we didn't want to transfer rather. And we were not going to transfer those. So yeah, it didn't work at all. I didn't even get like a faint positive with that one. So, and that one was crazy. It was also a day 6, but it was a better quality than, well, I can't say a better quality. It was more fragile because it was like almost completely hatched. So it was more fragile. They decided that they wanted to do that one. They didn't want to do that one with the other one because it just made it more fragile the way it was explained to me. So that one was the last one. And honestly, I didn't want to transfer it. I wanted to discard it, but with my conscience, I could not discard a normal embryo that may potentially turn into a baby. And I went into it with like the mindset, okay, don't get your hopes up because we already know what it is. Da 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 da. We're transferring this so your conscience can be clear, and that's what we did, and it didn't work. It didn't work. But the crazy thing about this transfer is, so my transfer was initially scheduled for 12 o'clock. But when they put it on the books, somebody else from another, because in my doctor's office, I think it's like 5 doctors and whatnot. So they scheduled me and someone else at that same time. So with mine being a natural cycle, they actually bumped me up to 9 o'clock and nobody told me. So we get a phone call like, hey, are you guys here? And I'm like, no, where? Our appointment is not until 12 o'clock. And it was like, no, I'm pretty sure it's at 9. No one told me. And they unthawed the embryos early on. From my understanding, everybody's embryo is unthawed at the same time, but I don't believe that. Because normally when we get there, they're like, oh, we just unthawed it like 30 minutes ago. And my appointment has been at 9:30, it has been at 10:30. You know, we've been through a lot of transfers. And they have all been done at different times, and they were always like, yeah, we unthawed it an hour before, 30 minutes before, whatever. So knowing that we were supposed to be there at 9 o'clock and my paper clearly said 12, I was already worried just because I'm like, okay, well, this embryo is really fragile, da 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 da. And then the fact that they unthawed it really early, and we didn't get there until 12. Well, actually 11, because you have to be there an hour early. So I was just like, okay, this embryo was already a day 6 when it was frozen initially, and it's been unthawed, and it has to be completely unthawed before they can do the biopsy. And who knows how long that took, the biopsy, and then freezing it again, and then you unthaw it hours before we're supposed to be there. Like, I'm pretty sure it was unthawed maybe 7. We didn't get there till 11, but our transfer wasn't scheduled until 12. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 5 hours. The embryo is just sitting. So yeah. But anyway, we are past that. That's neither here nor there. A little bit disappointed, but we have no more normal embryos. What are we gonna do now? We are actually going through another stimulated cycle. It's bittersweet, just because we have to go through this whole process again, and I'm like, I don't want to go through this a whole another time, but we are going through this with the right mindset. I've seen women that go through, multiple IVF cycles just because maybe they didn't get enough embryos or whatever before they even do a first transfer. We've been through so much. I am excited that we're going to do everything the right way. We're going to go ahead and test these embryos right off. And we know the ins and outs now. We've been through trial and error. We're just, instead of like, oh my goodness, we're going to check off these boxes appropriately this time, because we know all the headache that we've been through. We're not just trying to run a race here. We are trying to be done with this process and close this chapter of our lives. And honestly, I don't think I want to do any more retrievals after this. If this one, okay, let me say this. Let me back up. So I think that was forward. Let me back up. So I am staying with my job only because of the insurance. because it pays for this. And if I had to pay for this out of pocket, it would not be the clinic that I'm going to now. It's because they're too expensive. And if I had to pay out of pocket, I would not do that. There was a doctor that I really liked in St. Louis. He doesn't take any insurance at all. It's closer to where I live. I'm in Tennessee. I do, and it's like 4.5 hours away. I really, really, really like that doctor. And then there is a clinic in New York. A lot of people are familiar with the CNY, and they are $3,900 out of pocket, you know, and their testing for the embryos and all of that is a lot cheaper. A lot of stuff that my clinic charges extra for is already included, like ICSI is already included in the prices there. A lot of things that should be included are included there. And that doctor, he understands, you know, a lot of people make plenty money off of women going through infertility, and they jack these prices up, add these add-on prices, and it's really not fair. Like, because someone like me, if I had to pay for this totally out of pocket 2 times, you know, I would not be like feeling really good about this. And this can definitely break the bank pretty quickly because these procedures are really expensive on top of the medications. It's ridiculous. So yeah, but that doctor, he understands. He's not trying to rob you, you know, he's not trying to get away with your money. And I really feel like he's very sincere. I watched women who went to this clinic, and they speak very highly of their doctor. You know, and how nice and, you know, the bedside manner that he has, and he's compassionate about what he does, and he loves it, and he's trying to help other women, and he's not trying to get rich off of it, which I love that. I can't say that, I'm not saying that my doctor is not that way. I love my doctor. My doctor, we have been through this journey, and he's always like, I'm not giving up on you. You know, like when we have our miscarriages, he definitely, you know, comes in and he's consoling, and he expresses his sympathies and, you know, things that we should try, and, you know, things that may have caused what is caused. And, you know, he's very sympathetic, and I love my doctor. I love my doctor, love my nurse. Ooh, I love my nurse even more, but yes. But if I had to pay for this out of pocket, it wouldn't be there because he is expensive. He is expensive, and that can get pretty costly. So I will go somewhere else. If we go through this whole process and we have to do it again, but it wouldn't be anytime soon. But I definitely know in my heart that this is gonna work. So I see women on here on YouTube that go through this one time and it works. I'm like, but I've seen some that did not have a lot of embryos, and I feel like some of those doctors are thinking about quality over quantity. So as long as you have like a lower dose of embryos, the quality of the embryos is definitely going to be better. And I've seen one girl that had way more embryos than me, and it's worked on the first try. They didn't test them or anything. And I'm just like, what in the world? But, you know, I saw this post on Glow. If you guys don't have the Glow app, get it. I am on there. I've been in like every IVF group that I had like a cycle going into, like a scheduled FET. And sometimes I commented in the groups, and sometimes I didn't. I haven't commented here lately. I just been looking and just seeing like everybody's different protocols, what they're doing, And I was looking up testing embryos, and I've done this before, like with our first retrieval, trying to contemplate to see if I wanted to test them or not. And I came to the conclusion that we were not. You know, we were young. My husband had like an excellent sperm report. And you know, everything with me was fine. We both have kids. We don't have any kids together. So we were told this was going to be an easy process. You know, we just had problems with where the baby was going to line up. Like, we have no problem getting pregnant. If we made a baby just now, I'm pretty sure that we would get pregnant, but it's a matter of where the baby is going to wind up. And that's the scary part, just because anybody that's been through not IVF, but an ectopic pregnancy, it can be life or death. Depending on if you catch it quickly. And it's a lot of doctor's appointments, a lot of this, a lot of that, and a lot of scary and a lot of worry. And I don't want to go through that. So I rather go the route that we're going now, just to make sure that we're good. But anyway, yeah, so that's why we're going through this route. We had a lot of ups and downs, and we really want the better portion of this process. So that's why we're going off, checking every box, doing everything that we can to make sure that this is it. And I'm going to take you guys around for the ride. I don't like coming on here giving bad news. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Like, I hate doing that. I always like to give a good report, and lately that has not been the case. So it kind of makes me not uneasy getting on here and saying anything. It kind of dampens my mood about recording a video, because I know everybody's watching these videos. You may be on the road, or you may be contemplating getting on this road, and I don't want to discourage anybody, not that I'm negative in my videos, but you may be like, ooh, this works, and this is what we're going to do. And I don't want my experiences to change the way you view, or, I don't want it to be a deciding factor if you decide this is the route for you or not. But it is reality. What I would definitely say is, if you are thinking about getting on this journey, if I had to rewind the track, go back to when we first done this, knowing what I know, we would have tested those embryos. We would have. So if you are thinking about it and you can afford it, do it. Do it. Don't be like us. I don't want anybody to be a year set back further on your dream, what you want. If that's what you want to do and you can afford it, do it. It will save yourself a lot of headache. Now, if you maybe have like 4 embryos or so, I probably wouldn't do that, just because I feel like it would be a waste of money. 4 embryos, if you want to do 2 at a time, that'll be 2 transfers. If you want to do 4, 1 every time, then that's on you. But we have been through 1, 2, 3 miscarriages through IVF, and we have done 5 transfers. That's too much. That's too much. I know that I am a strong person through God. And if I did not have God, the Almighty, here with me, helping me to sustain me, I would be broken. I would be broken, and I would have stopped a long time ago, because that is a lot to go through. And our journey did not begin here. It did not begin with IVF. We had failures before this. We had 2 ectopics before this. So to even get to this point, and then when you get to this point, it was like, okay, we've had this happen. Now we're going to go this way, so it will be sure to happen. And it still fails. That's a lot. That's a lot on your mental state. That is a lot on you and what you think you can do, and you know, you see other people having success, you know, and it doesn't make me feel like, oh my God, you know, they're this white. No, I know what we done wrong. And everybody that's had a baby since this time, I don't feel any differently. You know, my brother's had a baby, my friend, my really good friend has had a baby, and I don't, you know, wish anything towards them like in a bad manner or feel bad for myself. I'm just waiting on my time. You know, I know what I done wrong, and or the things that I could have done to make this outcome be better. And that's what I'm going to do. They say you grow when you get wiser, and money is going to come and go. We can always make some more money. We can always make some more money. That is not going to be a deciding factor for me. So I am going to make sure that we can do it, that we do everything possible so we can say, at the end of the day, at the end of this journey, we done our best. And that's it. So I didn't want to make this video too long, ladies. I did want to catch up with you, let you know what's going on. We still don't have a baby, but we are about to go on this journey again, and it's pretty exciting just because we're going through it again. We already know what to expect. We already know what we need to do. You know, my husband is he is not as open-minded as me. He doesn't know the ins and outs. He doesn't study it. You know, he's just like, whatever, girl. But I want to do a video with him so you guys can see my hubby and see his take on all of this. You'll be surprised because he's not like me at all. They say opposites attract, right? But yeah, I'm gonna do a video with him so you guys can see his reaction, what he thinks about this whole thing. He's hilarious, by the way. But anyway, all right, guys, I'm not gonna make this video too long. My medications will be here today, so I will be doing an unboxing video. I think I've done a video like that before, but for anybody that's newly going through this is what you can expect to get. So keep a lookout on that. I done a makeup video right before this video, so I am going to upload that. I'm gonna upload this video first, and then I'll do the makeup video, then I'll do my IVF medication unboxing, you know, and I'm just gonna try to keep these videos coming. I'm sorry I've kept you guys out of the loop, but that's something that I needed to go through, and I promise I'm gonna take you guys along for the ride. Okay, every step of this way. All right, stay tuned. Bye.